Psycho Buddy. I'm joining you this morning from outside of Boulder, Colorado. And I'm on one of my first days back at work. If you can really call this work. Those are my puppies. Those are the flat irons. So I'm here to tell you about electroconvulsive therapy and how to prepare for it, how I prepare for it. For one thing, for me, it works the best with psychotic symptoms, so thought distortions. My brain gets stuck perseverating on suicidal images, or sometimes my brain gets really ruthless and does it more like a hallucination. And the electroconvulsive therapy is extremely effective at stopping that. It takes a couple, first zap, it stops that, which is a huge blessing. It takes a couple times to really feel firm. And every time you go in for a treatment of electroconvulsive therapy, you go completely under, full anesthesia, like they have breathing stuff, And that's a little scary. So there's a couple things that I do to prepare, things that I bring with me. I hope this wind isn't too bad for you to hear what I'm saying. I always bring a stuffed animal that helps me feel safe. And then on my phone, I have a playlist of really calming music. And I have a tattoo on my arm that says Hatnasa, which is Arapaho for so it shall be. And it kind of has the implication of thy will be done. It's how they used to say amen before the white man came. I have a tattoo of that, so it's the last thing I see. And that's because going under full anesthesia is a little scary. They read to each other. They're very, very kind. I go to Denver Health through Kaiser, and one person on each side of the bed holds a hand of mine, and then they read through numbers of how much of what medication I'm getting, and then they put in a stingy one, and one of them asked me, "Heknanan," which means "who are you?" in Arapaho, and my answer is "Niha nai ise nanana." I am Yellow Cloud Woman. I think we're starting to get the sound of the road now. So bring music, bring a stuffed animal. I always wear my pajamas. Everything I can do to feel safe, because being made unconscious in a room full of strangers is very vulnerable, and it's very difficult for me to accept that. I also always ask all of the doctors and the nurses and medical students what their names are, so that I know people a little bit. And then what ECT is, after they deliver the anesthesia and you go unconscious, they run electricity through electrodes that are placed in key strategic parts of your skull. So they run electricity through your brain, either unilateral or bilateral, one side or both, in order to stimulate a seizure. And that's how they found out that ECT could work, is that people with seizures had emotional improvement after having the seizures. And so they were like, well, what if we give somebody a seizure? And nobody really understands why it works. It just does. I mean, it seems to have something to do with neurotrophic growth factor. I think I said that wrong. BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic growth factor, that increases plasticity, neuroplasticity. So what fires together wires together when you are talking about neurons. And that means that if you have certain thoughts in a row, then the more you have them next to each other, the more likely one is to trigger the other one again. Or another way of using that neuroplasticity is to condition yourself. So my conditioning to the question, Hena heknanan, my answer, Niha nat yise nanana, I am Yellow Cloud Woman, that makes me relaxed and feel strong, because I'm very accustomed to that alter, which is another identity state. So that's part of dissociative identity disorder. But that alter, Niha nat yise, is fearless and experiences pain without suffering. So it's a good one to be in. But when it comes to wire together, fire together, thinking, falling into that personality, if you want to use that word, into that identity state, makes me feel strong and fearless. Like the puppies! Oh, they stopped playing as soon as you looked at them. That is mostly what I have to say about ECT. Condition yourself to be calm, and then put all that to work. And then they count down. I say I am Yellow Cloud Woman and I am not afraid. And the next thing I know, 2 instants later, I'm waking up alone. And I mean, not alone, but not with 6 doctors around me in the post-operative bay. And usually it doesn't hurt. I've been getting them to give me, I think it's called Toradol, which makes the muscles not hurt afterwards. And that's it. And then you go home and you feel better. It's really incredible. I'm very, very grateful for it.